Welcome to Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show, brought to you by Bull Realty, the show for property owners and business leaders. Host Michael Bull brings you market analysis, advice, and opportunities around Atlanta.
Welcome. We have a great show for you today. I'm Michael Bull. If you live around Atlanta or you own property around Atlanta, then you might want to know about the real estate program at Georgia State. Please welcome my guest. It's Jon Wiley. He's the Bowers Professor of Real Estate at Georgia State, and he's here in Studio One. Jon, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Michael. Appreciate it.
Well, Jon, you guys have a really renowned real estate program there, and you've ranked pretty well, haven't you?
Right, yeah, we're very research productive, so if you were to look at publications in top real estate journals, we're currently ranked number 3 in the world, among other institutions. We've been around for a long time. We have graduates that came out in the 1950s. We have over 2,000 alums. I would argue that if you were to look at this Atlanta skyline behind you, I'd argue that a GSU student has touched every one of those buildings, whether as a developer, tenant rep, financing. We're everywhere. I've heard it referred to as the GSU real estate mafia. So.
I like it. Well, tell us a little bit more about the program there.
Okay, so we have a lot of different layers of programs. We have a PhD program, which is for those who want to be research focused and turn into academics. Professors is mainly what we're producing with that. Master's of Science in Real Estate, which is a 1-year program, and those classes are all in Buckhead, at our Buckhead campus. And then we have an undergraduate program downtown for undergraduate students. So the undergraduate program, GSU is very diverse, and we have undergraduate students that range from traditional, maybe even living on campus, to, I have students in my class that are over 50. Actually, GSU has this, over 62, you can come back and go to school for free. So we have all of these, this wide range of students, and most of them have zero real estate background, and what they want to do with it is just as dispersed. And so we try to, the main thing that we hope to accomplish with that undergraduate program is experiential learning. The goal is that they would get some kind of internship, because I think that you have a college degree in real estate. What does that mean? And people are going to look at your resume, and they're going to have a hard time understanding that. But if you have that degree in real estate, and you worked as a leasing associate, or you worked as a whatever it is, you worked help underwriting for a bank, then they can start to place you a little bit better and start to understand some of the skills that you have. Our undergraduates, we really try to get that lined up with, and we get emails every day from people who are wanting to provide internships. So we just ask that they be paid internships, so we don't exploit the students. And and that they, I know, sorry, and that that they actually get them to do something meaningful apart from just carrying getting your dry cleaning and donuts and stuff like that.
Well, I think that's very important. I know when I look at resumes, I like to see that. I like to see that they use their summer to do something that's in the industry, right?
Yeah.
And tell us, and you get pretty good student to professor ratios there, right? How many students do you have in the program?
So we have a range of, so across those different programs. So the undergraduate program, I'd say it has roughly 80 students, but you have a spread of some are juniors, some are juniors that are taking their time, some are seniors, so it's probably about 20 or so in a class at the undergraduate level, and the master's level is pretty similar. The one thing that I think I have that I have a hard time getting the word out on is the master's program. So we have the 1-year Master's of Science in Real Estate. We changed this a couple years ago. It used to be downtown. It used to be a flex program. And I experienced when I worked with some industry trade organizations, they would put on an event, and when they put it on in Buckhead, they would have really high attendance. If they moved it to Midtown or Perimeter, they would have about 50% of the attendance. And anything further than that, you'd have very few people show up. And so I started to realize that Buckhead is the heart of the Atlanta commercial real estate, or the core of it. A lot of the jobs, even if you look on that block that we're on in Tower Place 200, So we moved it there, and we got it to where, the classes are all evening classes. It's Monday night and Wednesday night. You go 2 nights a week for 1 year, 5:30 to 9:45 at night, so you can keep your day job. And you only take 2 classes at a time. It's just kind of an 8-week, really you got to focus on each one, each 2 classes at a time. And and we changed that model. We changed it to where what we want you to learn about is we want you to learn to think like an owner. And if you're gonna, we looked at other programs around the country and what they were doing. We looked at what we were currently doing, which was trying to do everything, and that's kind of the MBA model. And instead, we took ingredients from MBA and tried to make it ownership focused. And we also looked at like CCIM and other, industry that are trying to bridge the gap between what academics isn't doing and what you need to know to succeed in industry. And we found that, we decided that we were going to have that kind of central theme. What do you need to know to own commercial real estate? Yeah. And so we kind of teach them like how to raise money and create a fund, how to, you really need to bring the money to the asset, which is equity and debt. You need to bring the users to the asset, which is the tenants and leasing. And then you need to manage the asset. So there's this like physical, side of it. And then there's all these different property types. So in that, master's program, we're focused on commercial real estate and ownership, and we don't necessarily, we stay away from things that you think that you could maybe hire a third party to do. So we don't spend time on like real estate law very deep because, someone who owns is going to say, hey, I can hire an attorney to do that. I don't need I would need a 3-year degree to really, cut into that. So. And not everyone, realistically, is going to come out of our program and be an owner. We do have a lot of entrepreneurial. Real estate means a lot of different things. So we have people that come out of our program, and they are, but by learning to think like an owner, they're able to kind of add value to an owner, right?
Yeah.
To even brokers or involved in a leasing situation can think of ways that they can change the asset and some of the different options that are available by thinking like an owner and really add value. Yeah. Appraisers and so on, lenders, and all these different sides. So that's kind of the central theme. And once we picked that, it helped everything else kind of come into line.
Well, that's fantastic. I think an owner's perspective is very helpful no matter what you do, and because we're all serving the owners in some way or the other. Even if we're repping a tenant, we're bringing them to the owners. We need to understand their deal and their pain points and how they work. And I like how you brought it to Buckhead. And you look at the kind of the population too around Atlanta. It's like kind of Buckhead to perimeter is almost the center of the population of the people that can get to you and go to the night classes. So that's convenient. Keep the day job.
These guys were showing up when we had it downtown. They were showing up in our class. We had classes starting at 4:30 downtown, and they work. If you work in perimeter, and you're bleary-eyed when you show up at 4:30, and then you still got a whole night ahead of you. So they were, very excited about that change. But the facilities, in Buckhead are really nice too. So if you ever get a chance to come check out, we have all kinds of Road to Robinson events and things like that help expose anyone interested.
Yeah,
so.
And tell us about your annual event that you have, View from the Top.
Yeah, so in addition to our programs for students, we also, in real estate, we think it's really valuable, who I mentioned our extensive alumni. Now they kind of rename themselves as Area GSU, so Association of Real Estate Alumni at GSU. That's our alumni group, but they've been active and organized since, I think, 1986 or so. They've been putting on Views from the Top every year in January. I think this year it's going to be January 4th. They basically, we've had some just really outstanding events. One year we compared, Tale of Two Cities, comparing Joe Riley, the mayor of Charleston, and then showing the Atlanta side of that story. And you can go through year after year and kind of see the archives. And normally we bring in about 250 to 350 people for that event, and it's just kind of this one-time sort of convergence on around GSU and around our alumni connecting. And
that's open to the public, right?
It is open to the public.
It's a great event. If you haven't been to it, you try to get there. And you say the archives, is that archives available to the public, or is that just to you?
Well, I just mean, if you were to look back and see the programs that they've put on year after year, I would imagine some of it's on the website, but I'd have to take a closer look to make sure.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was on the website, and they changed everything, so I have to go look.
Yeah. And what would be a good website for people that want more information about the real estate program?
Yeah, if you just, the easiest, just Google real estate GSU, and you'll come to our department webpage, and you can pick your path. If you're a student interested in our programs, it's undergraduate, master's, or PhD. If you're someone from industry, then Area GSU is the alumni group, and you can join the mailing list. They do, beyond Views from the Top, they do a lot of different events over the course of a year. We'll send out our newsletter here maybe in a week or so, and that has a list that they do, like they clean up the Piedmont Park or clean up the Beltline, kind of a day of service. They do Midtown Bowling, all kinds of different like networking events, right? That's basically a free group to join, and you don't even have to be a GSU real estate alum. We're very inclusive. We just kind of say it's a big family and you're all welcome, and we like our alumni to network with other people and extend the GSU family. We have I'd say a nice chunk of our group is non-GSU, guys from UGA, Tech, Emory, out of state, and their friend is a GSU guy in real estate, and so we're just like, we don't care. Like, come hang out with us and be a part of that. So that's free to join. And then the other way that we get people involved from industry is we have a real estate honorary board that it has about 60 members, sort of seasoned leaders from the Atlanta real estate community, some big well-known names, and probably about half of them are GSU alums, and another half are they're not, and they're just people who are, they were invited to be a part of the board and they liked what they saw. We put on different events for them. Now that's a paying, you pay to be a member of that and contribute financially to the department. And they also contribute in a lot of other ways, like they serve as mentors and guest speakers in the classroom. And so for real estate, being as applied of a field as it is, we find that really valuable to be able to have those connections, those touch points with the alumni in the Atlanta real estate industry that are GSU alums or their extended family, and then the seasoned leaders that can reach in and offer mentorship, or oftentimes it's like who you make as your mentors. They'll grab someone and they came in and talked in their class, and that student's just going to keep hounding them until they'll finally sit down with them for breakfast and so on, and then next thing you know, they're working for them.
Well, I like that. I like that connection from the students to actually meet and get to talk to people who are successful in the industry. And you mentioned a few names earlier that have been in your classroom recently. Who were those?
Oh yeah, we were talking. Just if I was going to say, the last 3 weeks in my master's real estate development course, I had Egbert Perry, Integral Group, Bo King of Kim King and Associates, and David Zanity, who's Zanity Capital Partners. But if you look him up, he's doing a lot of interesting stuff. David. Yeah. So, we think it's really important to. We're lucky. We're in Atlanta. Atlanta's a commercial real estate town.
Right.
There are major, there are REITs, life companies, lenders, a lot of jobs, more than our fair share. Regional, lending and investment happens from Atlanta, and we're able to get these guys to come into our classroom in the evening and, stand in front of a group of like 20 students. So they'll meet more, seasoned leaders of industry in that 1 year of the master's program than they would in maybe the first 10 or 15 years of their career. And those people are there because they want to help. They want to give back, and they want to connect with that energy that the students have. So.
Well, that's great. Well, Jon, thanks for sharing everything Georgia State with us today and the real estate department. Thank you.
Sure, happy to talk.
And thank you for joining us on Atlanta's Commercial Real Estate Show.